Hi guys, Demon here. Today we're gonna see how important knowledge can be. This is posted by Zaklastra. The next time you go to the library, make sure to keep your eyes out for a certain book. There is no other book like it. No copies. It can turn up anywhere in the library. It can be on any shelf, any table, in the hands of any person. The cover is made of leather and the book title, You. Once you find the book, don't open it. Go to the librarian to check the book out. The librarian should give you a strange look and utter, "Oh, that one." Bring the book home. You may be tempted to open the book, but be sure you don't. At midnight, step into your closet, book in hand, shut the door. Make sure that all you see is darkness and that the only noise you hear is your heartbeat. Open the book. In the book contains all knowledge of your past, present, and future. As you flip the pages of the book, moving from past events to present events, stop once you reach the end of present events. You will know when you see yourself in the closet reading the book. Before you move on to read future events, think about whether you really want to know about the future. If you decide not to read further, close the book, leave it on the floor of your closet, and leave. Be sure to keep the book inside your closet. You will notice in the morning that the book is gone. If you decide to read your future events, begin to turn the pages of the book. It's extremely important that you don't scream when you read about your debt. Don't take your eyes off the book when you see yourself being dragged into the depths of darkness that was once your closet. Don't blink as you see yourself being torn apart by a hungry beast. The bloody book laying on the floor next to your severed limbs. Don't be surprised when you feel the beast's hands rest on your shoulders. Knowledge is certainly important. Would you have kept reading? Do you think you could have controlled yourself not to scream? The next story was posted by The Dude. Funerals are a sad occasion. The only thing we could do sometimes for comfort is to pray and hope. Funeral. The casket was closed. And of course it would be. The accident left her in a state that was impossible to fix or even to look at. Who knows what her body looks like? And if it was anything like her car at the scene, it was probably for the best. Her death was a curse to everyone else. I could tell. People weep all around the church. Many look onwards in silence. Those at the caskets, even without seeing the body, cried the hardest. Her husband among them, who had been sitting at home useless while she drove to the grocery store. Me, I'm not saying I wasn't crying because I didn't like her. I hate seeing her dead right now, in fact. But even as a brother, it didn't hit me as hard compared to everyone else. I could wish for God's strength, and there it was. She had a large family and lots of friends, and that's why the church had so many people in it. I could tell. No one bothered to acknowledge me. Of course, from the sidelines. Why would they when a husband mattered so much more? Clearly, they didn't have anything to thank me for. Yet. The music. God, the music. They kept it so upbeat that everyone sat down for the rest of the service, making it so loud my ears hurt after some time. And they kept talking about their God and Jesus and whatever. But it didn't change anything. It didn't bring her back to life. Even though I wasn't sad, and even though I hated the funeral at first, I couldn't help and kept glancing at the casket. She was young, 32, maybe 33, and didn't deserve to die so suddenly or so quickly. She still had a long life ahead of her. She still had a husband. She still had kids. She still had potential. So fine, I decided to pray. I knew even in the church, my prayer would be uncalled for, but I had no other choice. I did. I closed my eyes, clasped my hands together, and prayed to my God. Because that was all. Everyone else in the church was praying to a God, but not the right God. The casket lid open. A foul stench overtook the air. Everyone got an eyeful of what was inside and began screaming, standing up and stumbling to back away. She was screaming, too. Oh, well, it sounded like screaming anyway. But she was alive. My prayer was complete. I opened my eyes and stood up to walk over to her new form. It wasn't exactly sightly, yes, but it was still her. In turn, a smile on my face waiting applause. I receive panic. What's wrong? Why are they running? She's here now. She's fine. You just need to make a prayer that counts, that's all. Why are you running? Isn't this what you wanted? You can't please everyone. They don't understand the power that our God have. Keep praying and keep the faith. When frustration starts and you're just clouded, sometimes the only thing that can help you clear your mind is a walk, and a walk through nature's forests help. This story was posted by the original The Forest. Cecilia was the most popular kid in class. She was rich, smart, and had a smile that would melt even the most frigid person. Not to mention, she was kind. It was me she asked out to prom, and it was her that I asked to be my girlfriend. Having said yes to both, Cecilia and I became a couple. A few months passed. She became a bit cool, but I didn't think much of it. I should have, and I regret it to this day. One day I came home early to surprise her on her birthday. She was in bed with another man. I dropped the ring I had bought to ask her to marry me on the doorsteps and walked away. I walked for a good few hours before the road started winding through a forest bordering the city. Nature was always my refuge since childhood, and I had explored the forest countless times since then. I trudged forward with a broken heart and a confused mind. As countless thoughts of countless emotions and explanations run through my head, the hours went by. I ignored her calls and texts and voicemails until my phone ran out of charge. As night fell, I kept walking. Since I couldn't see where I was going, I decided to stop and sleep under a tree. I didn't care if an animal decided to eat me. The dream I saw in my favorite state was interrupted by a single sentence, a voice that I hadn't heard since my childhood nightmares. We both know what needs to be done. I woke up not remembering anything else. I stumbled around until I somehow ended up at the edge of the forest where I had begun.
Thank you for being by my side,
I whispered to the forest, the leaves rustling as if agreeing. The next few days was excruciating. When I got home, I cleaned myself up. I made up an excuse to Cecilia about my phone being on silent and being tired from work. I had to pretend like everything was fine. On the inside, I wanted nothing more than to leave her presence and run into the wilderness again. But I know what I had to do. I made her feel extra special that day. Her favorite restaurants, a movie, a gift I bought for her. I made her feel like she was the queen of the world, but I knew what I needed to do. When she went to sleep, I brought out what I needed. The knife slid across her throat. The blood went into the plants. Her eyes bulged in the socket, but a gag forced her to keep quiet. Dragging her limp body into my car, keeping quiet was a difficult task, but I pushed through. In an hour, we were at the forest. I dragged her body to the border of it and dropped it down. A dozen tendrils reached for it, pulling it into the depths of the forest. The leaves rustled as if to thank me. As I turned around, I heard a voice again, this time from behind me.
Humanity to steal from me.
No, you must pay it back.
I will need more.
You will not disappoint me. I nod back.
Understood, mother.
Do you see now how walking can make you feel better? His problem was solved in the ending. Another thing that could help your mental health is clicking subscribe, as well as the like button. And remember, have a nightmarish night.